This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Welcome back. Happy New Year's Eve. We are live on the air until 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. This is an absolute pleasure as the Godfather, Brent Musburger, joins the program now, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Happy New Year's, Mr. Godfather. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm fine, Mitch. Happy New Year to you and Polly. Great time of year, of course. Wonderful parties, and then all the football, and maybe we can get a little Jan sanity here and tomorrow. I mean, we got plenty of madness in March. You know what I mean, Mitch?
Yeah. Well, okay. So you are responsible for coining the phrase March Madness. And now with the promotion here at VSiN, Jan Sanity, how long do you think it's going to take for Jan Sanity to turn into something maybe as big as March Madness?
Well, first of all, we got to have some games that aren't blowouts. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, the first round was like, excuse me, what just happened? But I must say about the first round, I dearly loved seeing the on-campus games. I just thought the Friday night in South Bend, I thought was spectacular. The snow in Happy Valley, all the Tennessee fans bundled up in Columbus. I must say I love it. Now, however they seed them and make them going forward, we shall see. You can argue whether the top four conference champions should draw buys. I think that's where you first go when you decide who's going to play in that first round.
Totally agree. Okay, yep. So Exhibit A would be Boise as the 3 seed, playing in a couple of hours in Phoenix in the Fiesta Bowl, catching a huge number against Penn State. They were awesome against SMU at home in the first round. Who do you like here in this game, Brent?
Bet against Boise State in a Fiesta Bowl. Be very, very careful. Okay, now, the public, I was just checking my DraftKings stats over here. 69% of the public on the money line are going Penn State's way, okay, as you would expect. However, when you look at the spread, and they've got it at 12 points, 56% are going Boise State's way, okay? And I say, why not take the points, okay? We got to have a dog show up. And listen, I love the running back. Jenny doesn't get hurt. He's going to be a star in the National Football League. He's one of the best running backs that I've watched in a long time, and he is absolutely perfect for the National Football League. We watched Gibbs last night, okay? And hats off to Campbell. Hats off, okay? Yep. He went out like a man, said he was going to do it. He went the distance. Game didn't mean anything. How about the hook and lateral? I've heard Paulie talk about the great calls that the Lions come up with. How about that lateral and down the sideline he goes? I'm in a first to score league, and I got the first pick Sunday night. There ain't any other choice besides Gibbs. Okay, but back to tonight. I'm going to go with Boise State and the points because, like I said, be careful. Be careful if you bet against Boise State in a Fiesta Bowl. They've had some wonderful games, and they're 3-0 over there.
That's right. You're all over it. And I think Genty would look great in a Cowboy uniform as well. 169 people went 4-0 in the first round. Get your picks in by 4 o'clock as well. How about the early game tomorrow? Another huge spread. Can Arizona State hang in there, get the running game going against Texas, or will Texas dominate up front?
Paulie, Arizona State's the big Cinderella of the tournament, but I don't know how all of these players moving around, okay, during this period. It doesn't happen during the basketball tournament. But during a football tournament, that transfer portal is open. And honestly, if Sarkisian runs the ball, everybody who follows Texas closer than I do say he's got to just run the football and nobody can stick with him. So I think I would give the points with the Longhorns. I just think they're a more powerful team going forward over there in the Peach Bowl. So I like Texas.
Okay. Little bulletin board material, too. Scatterboo, no one can stop me, he says as well. Okay, the granddaddy of them all. Undefeated, number 1 seed, already beat Ohio State Dogs. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to side with the public. I'm going the Ducks' way. I know it came down to the last few seconds, and I know the Ohio State quarterback ran the clock out and then slid, and it was game, set, and match. But the public is all over Oregon. both the money line at DraftKings as well as the spread. They're on Oregon's side. Now, not by a lot, okay? But I'm going to side with the public. I'm going to go with Oregon and the granddaddy of them all. What a great game. Hey, Paulie, I'm so looking forward to that.
I
Can't
think
wait.
here my best bet, Brent, would be over 55 in this game.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw both offenses kind of go up and down the field the first time they played. We're going to have great conditions at the Rose Bowl. I think 55 is too short for the total here.
I could not agree with you more. I don't venture into the over. I'm not as smart as you are, Mitch, so I don't go over. I have enough trouble with the sides, but in this instance, I absolutely. That looks like a 60 something to me. Both teams could hit the 30, and it's going to be a great football game.
Okay, and then what about the Sugar Bowl? By the way, what's the you called many Sugar Bowls in your life? What's the latest bowl game that you ever called that you can remember? This thing probably will kick off at about 6 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's about it. It usually kicks off late. First of all, under the contract with ESPN, and I'm sure it's the same, you have to show live the presentation of the trophy at the Rose Bowl. That's always been in the contract. So that can hold the kickoff up in New Orleans.
What a fiasco. That was embarrassing what happened last year. Because it was Texas and Washington.
Oh.
It got over at 1 o'clock on the East Coast.
I know.
It's a playoff game.
I know.
But let's all admit, come on.
That's why if you're a football fan or a bettor, Mitch and Paulie, that's why you moved to the Pacific time
No
zone.
kidding. Great
Amen.
point. But I will say, come on, guys. It is the prettiest sunset in the world, right?
We'll start it at 1 o'clock, not 2. We can move the kickoff up an hour. You don't have to go at 2.
All right.
That's because they've got those earlier games now, and one of them's part of the tournament, so it's not going to change.
Right. So who do you like here between the Fighting Irish and the Bulldogs?
I like the Irish going into the tournament, but I honestly don't like the fact that they lost that defensive lineman, okay?
Yeah.
I think that could be a factor. Now, if you want to side against Georgia, you say, the backup quarterback hasn't proven anything. He's had some practice, so I'll go against him. When I watched him when he came in and replaced Beck, I thought, okay, it was just okay. I didn't think it was anything special. I'm not a big Beck fan, so I think I'm going to stick with the Irish.
Okay. You're not a big Beck fan. Neither am I. Are you a fan of any of these quarterbacks that are coming out this year?
No. I think the Minnesota Vikings offer a lesson to us all. Look around the league at guys who've had a few years. Sam Darnold, one of the great stories this year in the NFL.
Yep. What do you think they do? He's a free agent. They just drafted McCarthy.
They have to sign him.
Yeah?
They have to sign him.
They have to sign him? Oh.
If I was the Raiders, I'd call him and say, I'll give you a 3 for McCarthy. And if he winds up our starter for 8 games, we'll give you a 2. I'd see if I could trade for McCarthy. That's where I'd go.
Oh, okay. So you'd rather offer something like that because at this point, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Ward or Sanders will be there when the Raiders are picking unless one of them slides. So
they won't be there. No.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be there.
They won't be there.
So
They'll be gone.
Don't trade up to take one of those guys because it's going to be too much you're going to have to give up then.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to trade up because it's not like you're trading up for Jaden Daniels. They're not of that caliber.
Yeah. All right. That's the first I've heard of that, Paulie.
Not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Godfather. That was great. Love talking to you.
All right, lads.
Happy New Year. Stay warm in Montana, okay?
Absolutely. Will do. Happy New Year again, gang. Pick some winners in 25. Mitch and Polly now. Prime time afternoon on VSiN, the sports betting network.
There you go. Excellent. Beautiful. There you go. He's the best. Brent Musburger. We'll try to pick winners. Hopefully we can.
Still got his fastball. What a legend.
All right. So he's going to go Boise plus the points.
Mm-hmm.
He's not buying into Arizona State. He's going to lay it with Texas. And then he's on the other 2 dogs with Oregon. And then Notre Dame now plus the 1. Fighting Irish taking some money here.
Mitch, hot take. Maybe the SEC isn't that good. Tennessee blown out. Alabama lost, 17-point favorite. South Carolina losing, although they have people out.
Yeah. LSU looking good right now.
Okay.
Playing against Baylor.
Baylor went from +3 to 3.5.
Wow.
Down
These
21-7.
line moves in college football.
Yeah. Good tweet, Chris Vanini. Indiana beat Michigan. Indiana played Ohio State closer than Tennessee. Such a good conference when it comes to hypotheticals. So much talent. Odds makers. Oh, well, got to have an odds maker on the committee. Ooh, tough one. Where's Kiffin? Where's Feinbaum?
Yep.
No tweets today.
Here's the funny thing, right? They can't wait to shout it from the mountaintops and say, SMU never belonged, right? All these teams that got in. What are we doing here? Indiana sucked. You can't have these teams in. We need teams from the SEC. Not a peep. You will not hear a single peep because you know what they're going to say? They're playing in the Rosetta Stone Bowl or whatever it is. It doesn't matter to them.
Yes.
There's always an excuse.
I know, talking to a third grader.
It doesn't matter.
We didn't care.
They got the never-ending string of comebacks lined up and ready to go.
We weren't motivated. Okay. Well, you lost 4 times. Apparently it's a coaching problem.
Yeah, that mattered more than anything. We'll expand on Boise, Penn State coming up next. 3 games in action. We'll discuss the live numbers here on VSiN.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah. This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
It's good to have you on board. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. As always, happy New Year's Eve to everybody out there. We're live on the air until 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 4 o'clock Pacific here today, getting you up to date on some of the scores that we have in these bowl games in college football. Louisville leads Washington 35-21. Midway through the fourth quarter, Louisville a 13.5-point favorite in play. That is at DraftKings. Third quarter action, Illinois 7, South Carolina 3. South Carolina down to 2.5-point favorites in play. And LSU is leading Baylor 28-14, but 90 seconds to play before halftime. That total now is up to 75.5 in the game.
Is this a real score? With 4 minutes left, the Celtics lead the Raptors 111-62.
Yeah, and as a result, I'm going to lose a Jason Tatum prop because he was yanked early on in the game. But that's what you get when you play really bad teams.
And then the Pacers lead the Bucks 93-88, 10 minutes left in the game.
Professional sports bettor Paul Stone joins the program now. You can follow him on X. He's at Paul Stone Sports, and he is on the Progressive guest line. Happy New Year, Paul. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Doing well. How are you, gentlemen?
Doing really well. Let's go to the big game that we have tomorrow in Pasadena, the Rose Bowl. You have 2 different bets with the Buckeyes and the Ducks. The floor is yours. Take it away. What do you like?
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mitch, of the 8 remaining teams, I really think 6 are capable of winning the national championship. And I think if you were willing to take a flyer on Arizona State, they're certainly a long shot, but there might be 7. I think Boise's the only team remaining, in my opinion, that's not going to win the whole tournament. So it's a really balanced field. You know, there's no historically great team, but there's a handful of really good ones. And I think Ohio State, with that said, when Will Howard, their quarterback, when he plays like he did against Tennessee, he did throw 1 interception, which has kind of been his Achilles heel when they were ahead of the Volunteers 21-0. But he was really sharp otherwise. He completed 24 29 passes, 311 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushed for another 37 yards. And again, interceptions are kind of what's going to define Will Howard, good or bad. He's thrown 34 career interceptions across 5 seasons in college play, an interception rate of 3%, which is really, it's not only not good for a championship level quarterback, it's below average for a college quarterback, period. But if he's on his game, Ohio State's going to be a tough out for anyone. I really like where they are right now, especially if Howard gives them good play. And you never want to lose a game, guys. But I really believe in the end that the Buckeyes' regular season loss to Michigan 13-10 there on their home field might have been a wake-up call. You know, instead of going into the playoff on potentially a 7-game winning streak, you know, riding high and feeling good about yourself, now they're a little bit upset. Everybody's talking about them from the outside. They're a little bit pissed off. I think it gives them that edge. I think, sometimes this type of defeat can galvanize a program. Been well chronicled that Oregon won the first meeting between these teams this season, 32-31. Oregon's had the home field advantage, obviously, in that game. I see that defeat not as a huge advantage for Ohio State, but I see it as a small advantage. I think it is on your side that you lost the first meeting. The Ducks are a solid team. They're 13-0. They deserve to be the number 1 seed, but they do have 4 one-score victories. I think the Bucks are going to get revenge here. The Bucks over the Ducks, Ohio State -2. And then going into my other selection in this game, I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. I actually made this total 59.5. I'm surprised that it was as low as 55 earlier today. I think it's pretty much 55.5. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But these two teams, they combined in that first meeting for 963 yards. Yep. They averaged collectively 7.2 yards per play. And looking at Oregon's defense, this is dating back to 2022, but in their last 10 games against ranked opponents, they have given up 30 points or more to 7 of those 10 opponents. So good teams score on the Ducks. Dylan Gabriel, he's been a big game hunter. Not only this year at Oregon, but last year, maybe not single-handedly, but I was at the game, and Oklahoma doesn't beat Texas without Gabriel playing lights out, threw for 285 yards, ran for 113 against the Longhorns last year, and then he's had big-time efforts against the 2 best defenses probably on their schedule this year, that being Ohio State and Penn State. They scored 32 against Ohio State, 45 against Penn State, total of 77 points in those 2 games. Oregon, they've allowed 7 yards of play in those victories over Ohio State and Penn State, which is a lot, but they average 7 yards per play in those 2 victories. The Ducks offense giveth, but the Ducks defense taketh away. I think we're going to see lots of points. I think this game's going to go over, so over 55.5, Oregon, Ohio State.
We're not done after these marquee playoff games. We still have some lesser bowls. Is there a lesser bowl on Friday that you like?
Yeah, it's going to be the game in the Bahamas in Nassau between Buffalo and Liberty, which is really not one of the more attractive games probably to the typical college football fans. But obviously we're a little bit different here. This game opened back on December 9th. Liberty was actually a 2.5-point favorite. But that was before Caden Salter, their standout quarterback, and 3 starting offensive linemen went into the portal. Salter has since decided on Colorado, so he'll likely be paying for Coach Prime next year in Boulder, assuming Coach Prime is in Boulder. The Flames, additionally, Liberty lost their 1,254-yard rusher, Quentin Cooley. He opted out of the game to prepare for the NFL draft. And you have some other players for Liberty that won't play in this game. Even with their full roster, this Liberty team, they struggled down the second half of the season. They lost to Kennesaw State. They lose to Jacksonville State, also Sam Houston State. And they needed overtime to defeat UMass on the road. So they really didn't play well in the second half of their season. And I think this season for Liberty, it was playoffs or bust. I mean, last year, they make the New Year's Six Bowl game against Oregon. They've got a lot of people coming back. They've got their quarterback coming back. And they've got an easy schedule, perhaps the easiest in the country. And their designs, their only goal was to go 13-0 and give the committee a lot to think about as far as including them in that 12-team playoff. They obviously fell well short of that goal. So I think this Liberty team, I don't think we're going to see a supreme effort from Liberty in this bowl game against Buffalo. I think that's putting it mildly. Buffalo's not a great team. Make no bones about it. They're going to be below 100 in the 134-team FBS by anybody's account who makes power ratings. But they're going to be the more motivated team. They also lost to Liberty last year 55-27 in a non-conference game on their home field in September of last season. So there's a little bit extra motivation there as well. I think Buffalo's going to win this game over a diluted Liberty squad that couldn't care less, probably enjoying fun in the sun in the Bahamas. Give me the Buffalo Bulls -2 over Liberty.
Very good. You can follow Paul on X. He's at Paul Stone Sports. Great breakdowns as always, Paul. Best of luck. Have a great night tonight, and a Happy New Year.
Hey, same to you guys. Everybody be safe, and everybody have a great time watching the bowl games.
Yep, back at you.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. He joined us on the Progressive Guest Line, and in the meantime, LSU scored again.
Return to kickoff.
Okay, so it's 34-14 right now. Did they miss the extra point?
Yeah.
I'll double-check that.
Yes, they did. Yep. That Buffalo game Saturday, by the way, early Saturday morning. Week 18 updates with information. Ravens 17.5. Browns might play Zappe and DTR. Bengals down to 1 against the Steelers, the late game Saturday. Tomlin, Nothing's going to change even if the Ravens win. That's right now. Saints from 14.5 down to 13. Look at this now. Maybe Carr, Olave, and Kamara play.
That could happen.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Huge. That'd be just if Carr plays, that's huge. Bills 2.5 against the Patriots. Allen will start, and then that'll be it. Patriots likely to sit May. A little birdie told me, though, the Patriots want to win the game.
Why?
I know. They get the number 1 pick if they lose. That's where we're at. Look at the Raiders. I know. Packers still 9. Dolphins 1 against the Jets, total of 39.
Jets are going to play everybody from what I assume.
Look at that. I can't believe it.
What I hear.
Broncos up to 11 against the Chiefs. Winning in. Chargers 6 against the Raiders. Harbaugh, we're going to do what's best for the organization. If the Steelers lose Saturday night, you have to play people, go for it, win, and take on the Texans. You've also played hard against and had 2 tight games against the Chiefs.
Right.
Got to do it.
Again, here would be the scenario, right? They would then get the 5 seed.
Yep.
They would play at Houston, first round of the playoffs.
Yep.
And they would avoid playing at Baltimore in the first round.
Huge.
It's that simple.
Colts 5 against Jacksonville, who knows? Atlanta 8 against Carolina. Commanders 4.5 against against Dallas. Dan Quinn, we're going to fight like hell to get to 6. Also, you could see Trey Lance for the Cowboys.
Keep in mind, a team like Washington, they recently had their bye week.
Good point.
So a team like Detroit, they're dying for the 1 seed.
Yeah, 5 weeks. Yeah.
It was week number 5 when they had their bye week.
Yes. And you avoid Philadelphia if you're Washington. Seattle up to 5.5. The Rams are going to sit people. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to beat Minnesota, Detroit, that path. Plus, you got the Geno Smith incentives. Arizona up to 4. Ooh. It's likely Dobbs for the 49ers.
Right.
Texans, Titans pick. Starter's going to play, but for how long? I don't know.
I mean, if I'm D'Amico Ryans, all I have to do is throw on game tape of pretty much any drive of this year and say, yeah, our offense is broken. We need to figure something out here.
Lions 3 Sunday night, and also Eagles 3 against the Giants. Sirianni still deciding. He's going to ask his players what they should do with Barkley. Ready to try something different? Sign up, start playing the ponies on First Bet. First Bet U.S.-based, offered wagering on hundreds of races every day across the country and around the world. Sign up, firstbet.com, promo code VSIN200. Claim a 20% rebate for your first 60 days, up to $200. Get it now. $200 sign-up bonus, new users. Head to firstbet.com today.
All right, South Carolina, they've taken a 10-7 lead. Now that's it. Shut it off. No more. Up next, we will hit current NFL, the draft order up next. Wait until you hear what one NFL scout said and others are saying about this year's quarterback class. Oh, boy.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
+3. Welcome back. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the sports betting network. A lot of great thoughts coming in on betting resolutions for 2025 from the audience. We'll get to that coming up in a second. I did tease before the break. Just because a team has to win, it doesn't mean they're going to. I'll give you 2 examples. And the Ravens don't have to win, but it'd be nice, right? That means they're going to win their division. Mm-hmm. And not have to go on the road in the first round of the playoffs. So I'll throw another team at you. The Broncos do have to win this game.
Well,
I mean, they can get in
Miami
with
and
other
Cincinnati
crazy
could
things.
lose, yeah.
Sure, but they want to just take care of business, and they're going to get a Chiefs team in theory that will play nobody. That number keeps going up and away, by the way.
Yep.
Now, having said what I just did, can you see the Ravens losing to the Browns?
No way in hell.
Neither can I.
No.
Can you see the Broncos losing to the Chiefs?
Yes.
So could I.
This has happened before.
It has happened.
The Pittsburgh Steelers knocked out the Drew Bledsoe Bills one year. Mm-hmm. Was it Tommy Maddox? Who was somebody? I don't know. Yeah.
Willis McGahee was on Buffalo, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a big loss for Billy Walters. And our dear friend Dave Malinsky, who passed away, told us about this. Billy Walters was chasing one year. And in the final game of the season, Billy Walters was responsible for like a 6-point move in an NFL game. The Chargers needed to beat the Chiefs to get in the playoffs. I think the line went from 11 to 16 or 17. It was the Chiefs' backups. They were losing in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
I think it was Chase Daniel and somebody.
Yeah.
And they won by 3, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So
there are examples
yes,
out there
yes.
of, I'm just going to do a money line or late. Okay, careful with that. Resolutions coming in. You can always tweet us at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. Also on Instagram, VSiN Live, Paulie Does Vegas, and Mitch Moss. This is from Mark. His resolution, less parlays, more individual bets. That's always a good idea. I will say that if I do like a same-game parlay, it's not like it's like pizza money. Mm-hmm. It's to have some fun and to be entertained. People lose their minds over, you can't possibly recommend parlays. Calm down. Betting can be fun once in a while, too. From Moneyline Marv, increasing unit size, more player prop straight bets, more soccer in-play bets.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a Mike Palm dream come true right there, hearing somebody say that.
Yeah.
This is from Joe DeFan. Never bet angry. I would also add, never bet when you've had too much to drink.
Oh,
that'll.
Well, yes. I think that goes without saying. But then there's someone we know who does that. But that's.
Yeah. This is from. Now this is a great tweet from Colin. His New Year's resolution is to not be afraid to continue to fade teams week after week after week that are criminally overrated.
Bingo.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Like the Titans, Arizona Wildcats football, Florida State. The teams are not due. The market just does not adjust.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same problem. We do this every week during the football season, right? Best and worst ATS teams. Take a wild guess how many times I bet against the Titans and like Florida State this year. Combined, it was like 3 times. I did not take advantage of that fully.
Yeah, all time out of Tennessee.
Yeah, right.
You're never going to see someone go 2-14 ATS again, right? And to think they were a 5-point favorite Sunday night or Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I know, strong.
This is
totally agree.
Par Me Up says, after the Super Bowl, I'm taking a break until Thanksgiving. Worst year I've had in 5 years. It's actually not a bad idea to take a break once in a while. That's allowed. You're not going to get thrown into prison for that.
Mm-hmm.
From our buddy Weston. This kind of flips it from what Colin was saying. But Weston says, set a limit on number of losses that you're willing to take on a certain team ATS during a season. For example, you can bet a team in the NFL 3 or 4 times and lose, just stay off them the rest of the year. And Chris Massero saying he's never betting the Browns ever again. My guess is he has lost many times on that team the last decade.
Yeah. Well, I also hope, and these are good emails and tweets going back to what we just saw with the Jets. Just like, what this doesn't make any sense. I'm playing against the Jets. Got to come back. How are the Jets favored? Again, how are they? You have to keep doing it, right?
Right.
And it was just,
this year.
I almost fell over that one when the look-ahead line, they were favored against Indy.
And they were favored against Seattle.
Yeah, and Houston.
You laughed out loud.
Now they beat Houston, but again, they have 4 wins.
I know.
And they started out, they lost, there's a stretch they lost 8 of 9, and they were favored in every game. Come on.
Yep. This is from Matt Saint, who won Circa Millions last year. Stop caring about what the sharp and square sides are. Take the side that your numbers, data, eye test say you should. It's a good idea. Bill Hooker. Do not bet another favorite minus 1.5.
1.5, 2.5.
Take a money line.
Amen, brother.
Yep.
Amen. Take the points or go money line with the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be stunned how many times the games fall 1 or 2, no matter the sport. Did Mike Palm send anything in, guys, too? I asked for his take on this as well because he's big into in-play, what he threw up.
This is from Conan. Do a better job of hiding my wins from my wife. That's good. Can you get a separate account? Is that possible? Or is it too late in the game for that? I thrive.
That shouldn't be hard. Unless she's got you. Yeah.
I thrive in this area.
Do you?
I could teach a master class on this.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She is in outer space. Has no clue.
About the whole business?
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been good.
Okay.
That's really, really good, actually. Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Mike Palm, from a bookmaker standpoint, offer more props, offer more in-game. Mike Palm's standpoint, fund more accounts, eliminate full game totals in the NHL. New Year's betting resolutions.
He's eliminating what?
Eliminate full game totals in NHL.
Okay.
He needs just focus in play and first period.
In play and first
periods,
period,
rather. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Again, shrink it down, derivatives, that kind of thing. I like that. Attack. This is why I like the guys on Twitter, Chris Otto and Ian Duncan.
Fantastic.
They're phenomenal. They break it down like the goal in the first 10 and the teams that are awesome in the period, whatever they are in the first period run, second period, third, all of that stuff. That's one way to approach it as well. The full game stuff, man, it's like this year. How much money were you making for if you got on that early and just said, I'm not going to get off till I loses twice on the fading the Eagles in the first quarter? It was a jackpot.
That's right.
Every single Sunday for the first 2.5 months. Yes.
Tie it into hockey?
Chiefs second half unders last year,
right.
I think.
18-2, something? Yeah. And hockey put this show on the map, too. First period overs.
That's right.
Chicago and Tampa Bay. I think combined it was like 29-1. It was ridiculous what happened. And then it became the Follow the Money 5 as well. So, when they put this up, you want to do team total or take the points? You decide. G-Bank best bet of the day, based on what we saw last night.
Okay, this is the thing for me. I have the Lions to win the most games.
Oh, my God.
The entire year.
Oh, my God.
And if the Chiefs lose, I might just take Vikings money line to make sure I win. Again, this comes down to I'm going to get off hedging. Hedging's a bad word. Mike Palm said this it should be outlawed. It should be monetizing your ticket.
Yes.
And so I have a Lions at plus 950 most wins. I want to show something for that.
Damn right. Now, a guy who doesn't like the hedge, but Cousin Sal has a parlay, Chiefs and Lions 1 seed, 26-1. Oh. You've got to bet Minnesota money line.
You have to.
You have to.
No question.
Or take the point. We try to win both, whatever you want to do there. But that's, absolutely. So, I've seen enough the last couple of weeks. I love the story. They're going to have to play perfect football offensively to get it done. But we're going to take the 3 Sunday night in what could be the biggest regular season game in history. Sunday night, Vikings plus 3. Best bets brought to you by G-Bank, official bank of VSiN. You can also go with the Vikings team total as well. If you're serious about sports betting, you need the G-Bank Visa Signature Card. Most credit card street sports books and gaming transactions as cash advances, even when you put your own money on the card. G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're typically saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees right there. For a limited time, you get a $250 bonus after you spend $1,000 in the first 90 days. Apply now, VSiN.com/Gbank, VSiN.com/Gbank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions may apply.
Boy, we have a high wire act here in the Baylor-LSU game. Touchdown Baylor Bears, 6 plays, 63 yards, 2.5 minutes. 34-23 PATE as pending, 6:21 to play in the third quarter. And South Carolina now leads Illinois 17-14. That's under 10 to play in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 4 right now for the Illini. I think they have a deep inside Gamecock territory. Good day of bowls.
Yeah.
Bama almost came back to win that game against Michigan today.
Yeah.
Boy, the Bama money. That got to 16.5 before kickoff.
Turnover. Yeah.
All right. Pat Forty is going to join the program coming up next, live in Phoenix for the Fiesta Bowl. He did something for the only time in his career when he was there watching Boise State beat Oklahoma like 17, 18 years ago. He'll tell you what it was coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Happy New Year. A couple of bowl games now finishing. Illinois actually defeated South Carolina. 9-point dogs, 9.5 actually. They won that game outright. And one good performance out of the SEC as LSU leads Baylor right now 44-31. That game flew over the total. 4 or 5 minutes left to go in the game. As we continue here with the owner and CEO of Circa Resort and Casino, downtown Las Vegas, Derek Stevens. So we were talking about Survivor and then how much money each ticket is worth and how many people we're down to. Well, it's at 18 right now. Every entry is worth more than $792,000. People have been getting a hold of you guys here at the property, wiring in funds, setting themselves up. I know it was a lot of money last weekend in hedging. How much money has already been wired in for Week 18?
Yeah, between front money and wires in and credit, I think we're currently over $2.2 million just for the contest, and I'm aware that we're going to have at least another $1 million coming in by Friday. So take that for what it's worth if you plan on hedging, because we're going to have to move numbers with those type of numbers. So
I would say so.
Yeah. So we should have over $3 million worth of hedge bets coming in throughout the week.
Why do you think it's so important to be a great host and open like this? Not just talking about the hedging, but I was watching Saturday night, and you invited everyone who's still alive to come down in Survivor, and you invited, if you're top 30 in the millions, to come down. We
want to make sure anybody that top 30 in Circa Millions or any of the 18 in Circa Survivor, just reach out to Jeff Benson or hit me up on Twitter, and we'd love you to stay here if your schedule allows and you want to hedge. We got a whole section over here. We're going to be filming. We're going to have a ball. I assume we're going to have a lot of champagne flowing by about 1 o'clock Pacific time. More champagne flowing by about 4:30. And then we kind of go from there. This is kind of what we love about it is we get to meet all these people, and the stress and the adrenaline is unbelievable. There's nothing like watching these games when you have people with millions of dollars on the line.
Well, it's also awesome. It's nuts that you do that too. And where can you chill with a billionaire and get a drink and whatever and hang out and watch the game as well? But also, do you think the time of the games plays a factor in strategy?
I definitely think it does. I mean, I think. One thing I think we got to keep an eye on, there's a good amount of availability on Arizona.
Yes.
And Arizona might be a little bit of a wild card here because it's going to be in the late window. There's some availability there. Someone may want to watch it now that, Purdy's out and this and that.
6 and 10, yeah.
And that was a very physical and violent game last night on Monday Night Football. So maybe there's something that happens with the Cardinals. Maybe it gives you an advantage, if you go in last. At the same point, I don't think the spread's big enough, but I think we got to watch and see how this develops here in the next 24, let's say, maybe 48 hours. What if somebody decides to go Bengals early?
If Tomlin says I'm not playing people, yeah.
I mean, there's not much availability. There's two with availability on Bengals. But boy, oh boy, if you get through on Saturday,
oh God,
you could just sit back like a sniper back here, and you could take a round robin of money line parlays on everything.
Oh my
and
God,
you're sitting pretty.
Oh God, what a dream.
Now, what's the deadline to get the picks in though? If you want to use the Saturday picks, and then will people know if anybody used Cincinnati?
Will people know? No. It's going to be the same time. We announce them all. We announce them all the same time.
The game's at 5. The show's at 6.
Yeah. So our show, we'll announce them at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Pacific time on Saturday. So that game will be going while we're talking. But if somebody does take the Bengals, it gives them an awful lot of time Saturday night and all day Sunday morning to be able to hedge against whatever the top picks are. I mean, talk about a position you'd be in at that point in time.
Hello.
Yeah, Paul, imagine that. 2 o'clock Pacific time Saturday, Tomlin says, I made up my mind. We're not going to play anybody.
Yep.
And somebody's got the bang. They're like, okay, there you go. I'm playing in Cincinnati.
Sure. Same thing. How about with the millions, too? I mean, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Coming down to the wire. Always Circa Sports, and on X, they tweeted everything out. But now with 5 picks left and how everyone's bunched up and the quarterly's on the line, and you pay top 100 here overall.
Top 100, yeah. So the number one team in the overall is 59, 24, and 2. So that's a total of 60 points. That's victory formation. Second place is Team BP at 59.5 points. We got 2 tied at 59. And then we've got another 5 between 58 and 57.5. So it's all bunched up. I mean, anybody in the top 8, you post a 5-0, you got a shot. Victory formation, pretty good position. I mean, obviously that's where you want to be.
Sure.
But victory formation could pull this off with a 3-2, maybe a 4-1. So they control their own destiny. This is going to be something. I would love to sit with victory formation and Team BP this weekend if they're around. So that's a call out if you want to be out here. We'll put you up.
All right, and you're going to be hanging out in your normal spot, right?
Oh, yeah.
All weekend long right
Absolutely.
there watching games?
Yep.
If anybody wants to come here, sit next to you, get a hold of you, that kind of thing?
Yeah, and if tallies are the two meatballs, they're at the bottom. They're in the booby price. Tallies is $25.59 and 1. And two meatballs is $26.58 and 1. So 59.5 and 58.5. The booby prize is slightly less good than the good side is with victory formation, but they're welcome to come along too.
All right.
And then in the quarters, we've got one. Little J is 17-2 and 1.
Come on.
And then we've got 11 people tied at 17-3 and 0. So the quarter is just that's just wide open.
Oh, that's a huge sweat then.
Wow. Yeah, so you got 11 people that are all within a half a point. So you figure out of that 11, somebody's going to put. You post a 5-0, you're going to get something here. Yeah.
20,000 people next year in Survivor.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. It's something. It's something. I would hope so. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It's great. It's
Yeah.
great. So we've been in Las Vegas for a long time. I can never recall it ever being this warm for New Year's week. And I did the whole thing, walking down to the Strip several times, but I've been downtown. You always have to plan accordingly. And it was always like bitter cold, and it would cut right through your bones. You're like, are we going to do this really? It's a hoodie. It's another jacket. You got to wear gloves. It might dip into the 30s. It's been awesome in Las Vegas this week. Am I wrong? I don't recall it ever being this nice for New Year's Eve.
Not only are you right, I could factually back you up. Remember when I opened this little bar at the Golden Gate, this frozen drink bar out there? Well, some days the sales were high, some days they were low, and everybody wondered what was going on. Oh, I better start tracking the high and low temperature. I've tracked the high and low temperature every day in Las Vegas since 2008.
Get out of here.
And you are correct. In the month of December, we've never had a month of December as warm as this is. This is the warmest December ever. It's been unbelievable. As a matter of fact, we will close out today, 31. There are 29 days in the month of December that are above normal. There's only 2 below normal. It's unbelievable. It's a streak as unbelievable as these favorites winning in December. It's crazy.
You could be a meteorologist here.
It's unbelievable. But I didn't mean to get it. I thought I was getting the casino business. I'm in kind of a seasonal business. I never wanted to buy a ski lodge because what if it doesn't snow? You're screwed, right? So here, I got these frozen drinks and now Stadium Swim. Now I'm more worried about whether it's windy or cold than I ever have been in my life. But you are absolutely right, Mitch.
All right. Okay, I felt like that. What was the case? So I'm glad that somebody here definitely has the facts to back it up. How worried are you, or how good do you feel about your Lions moving forward with the defense?
Well, I thought yesterday, they fought back. They got down pretty good early. I know there's a lot of controversy about you going to sit guys, but there's a lot of comments that Belichick made comments in the past. Harbaugh's made comments. Dan Campbell made comments. Well, okay, who are you going to sit? You can't sit everybody. Yep. So they just did their thing. I think the Lions are in as good a shape as they've ever been in, and I think Sunday night is going to be unbelievable for the NFL. It's going to be unbelievable in here.
Yeah.
I can't wait. But no, I think the Lions are in good shape. And if they have to, whether it's Minnesota or Detroit, I don't think anybody wants to be the 4 seed. And
what are the Rams doing? The Rams should need to win this game.
That's what I thought.
I don't get what McVay's doing. I don't know. By the way, CircleLasVegas.com, hanging out the Legacy Club, get a room, best shower of your life. Come on down, berries, whatever you got.
I stick by that.
Oh, come on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Serious pressure comes, bam, right at you.
Temperature never changes.
Oh, so
right?
good.
You can set it wherever you want it.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Goes to Circa Golden Gate as well. The best, the suite of Golden Gate. Oh, man.
Here's what I can't believe, Derek. 14-3 will not win that division.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
What?
Make a call. Tinker with the system. Can you call Goodell? Say, come on, you can't be a 5 seed if you win 14 games. Come on.
Well, it's going to be something like I said. Nobody wants to be the 4 anymore.
That was an A+ appearance. Yeah. You look better than you actually just sounded, by the way. So have a night tonight, okay? Enjoy it.
Happy New Year.
There you go. Happy New Year, everybody.